So one of my worst nightmares has just come to reality, and this is my instant reaction to it. I just literally found this out. And if you're an artist, if you're a musician, if you're a creative person that does a lot of work, and you store that in hard drives, you know what I'm talking about. And this is very topical because it's about TikTok. And you know what? I'm not a TikTok user. However, I've been using an online video editing platform that I also use on my desktop called CapCut. And I was using that as I was transitioning from editing on my phone and my iPad to getting a new laptop. And it's just a platform I learned. And I had about a terabyte of data in the cloud there, including 5 finished videos and 10 other projects. So we're talking not weeks, but months of work on there, and just disappeared. Because I went online, or I went on my computer to get some of the stuff off of it, and I saw this. Yeah, this message. It's terrifying. I think this is really relevant to a lot of musicians. Even if you don't use CapCut, even if you don't use any of these online social media platforms. So there are 3 huge takeaways from today. And number 1 is that you don't own anything that is online. And here's what I mean by that. Think about TikTok. Think about Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. They're all landlords and you're renting from them. So anytime you post something on there, it's basically like you're renting. That makes it very convenient for you to come and use it for a certain amount of time. And a lot of us have invested time into building audiences on these platforms. But here's the thing. At any point in time, those platforms, like today, could go away. And it's not because of just some government ban. Let's say you get hacked. Your stuff is gone. Let's say you suddenly get suspended for unknown reasons. Your stuff is gone. Or if you're using some of these platforms to earn money, at any point in time, they can change the terms and conditions and you're essentially powerless over it. And because you spent so much time and invested so much energy into building audiences on these platforms, you're kind of screwed. And I think this is very much like the music business, where a lot of us find kind of one lane to stay in, whether that's performing, whether that's touring, working in a certain network. It could be writing, it could be just playing with a certain band. But if you specialize in one area, that's great, but suddenly things could change. What happens if you're with a band and all of a sudden the singer decides to quit? Your band is gone. What do you do then? If you spent all your time and energy investing into that, you're suddenly without a job. What do you do then? What do you do if COVID comes along and all the venues start shutting down? What do you do if you're relying on streaming or music sales to support you and all of a sudden, oh, we're just going to stop paying people for streaming or people are going to stop buying music? The music industry, like everything else, is always moving and always shifting. So I encourage people to diversify where you invest your time and energy into. I encourage everyone to have an email list because you know what? Email doesn't go away quite as quickly as TikTok, and you own your contacts that way. I encourage everyone to have multiple networks. So you should be on Instagram, you should be on YouTube. You should diversify where you're putting your stuff because at any point it can all go away. It can all be a rug pull. Or you could just build your own platform and your own website and go from there. Is that a lot more work? Yeah. Is that a lot more responsibility? Yeah. But you ultimately control your fate a little bit more. And number 2, invest your time intentionally and don't spread yourself too thin. Now this can seem counter to what I was just saying, but here's what I mean. If you just started social media today, are you going to start doing Instagram? Are you going to start doing Facebook? Are you going to start doing YouTube? Are you going to start doing X? Are you going to start doing Threads? No, because that's a lot and you're going to get nowhere just by spreading yourself so thin. But what I've done is I've learned a platform and I continue working within that platform and then I go to another one while I still have stuff on the other platform. And I think about that like with income streams. I've made most of my income performing music live, but I've also slowly been shifting to online content, to digital sales, to writing, to producing, to making content for companies. So I've diversified my income stream so that if any one job or any one opportunity suddenly goes away, I'm okay. But that takes a long time to develop. So I think about it like investing, like with a financial portfolio. I'm going to build up a strong base in something, and then I might take a little bit of risk on something else, and a little bit of risk here and there. But I want to start building a portfolio so I can have many things available to me in case something falls through. And lastly, number 3, and intentionally so, make triplicate copies of everything. And here's what I mean by that. You should have a backup hard drive on site. And I think that is more than most musicians and creatives have. So if you have that, you're already ahead of the curve. But you should have something else as well. Why? Well, if your computer fails, you still have your backup hard drive. But what happens if there's a fire, if there's a flood? Everything goes away. So you should have things in triplicate. You should have something on site, you should have something off site, and you should have something in the cloud, like Dropbox or iCloud. As I did, I had things on CapCut's cloud, and there was about 1 terabyte of things that I did not get off of there. I might get it back, I may not, I'm not sure. But this is a tough lesson for me. Because if you think about it, anything in the cloud is really just a hard drive based on a server somewhere else, and that can always be compromised. So yeah, it's kind of a pain, and it's also a skill to learn how to archive your things, to learn how to label them and organize them. And it takes time, and it's not fun and sexy. But that comes with the territory. And the sun's gonna come up tomorrow. I can start new videos. It's gonna be kind of a drag, but oh well, life goes on. And maybe this gives all of us time to reflect on, okay, where do we want to be investing our time, our energy, and do we have good backup plans in case something falls through? Because remember, in music, just like any other business, you ultimately control your own destiny. You write your own future. It takes a lot of time, it takes learning, and it takes patience. And today may have tried some of our patience, but it should be a good lesson. So if you're struggling with this or something happened to you like to me, like you had a bunch of data go away, please put it in the comments. I want to hear. Tell me about it. If nothing else, misery loves company, but I hope no one has gone through what I've gone through. But if you have, put it in the comments. If you have thoughts on this, put it in the comments. I really would like to discuss with other people about it. And I think this is a good opportunity for us to reflect on what are we using, why are we using it, what's our goal with that. And if your goal is to get people with short form content, cool. I would say just post on multiple platforms, but the same thing, and then keep an archive of that. Yeah, it's not quite as fun and exciting and give you that dopamine hit, but if we're doing this for part of our career, think about treating it like a career and having fail-safe measures in place. So today might be tough. Make sure to remember to be kind to yourself. Thanks for watching. Hope to talk to y'all soon.